Hello guys, welcome back to the part 2 of our Android tutorials on writing custom lint. This is the continuation of the last tutorials that we had on how to configure lint in Android Studio. Before we begin, I am Bismarck, a young enthusiast of technology, specifically Android mobile development. Today we want to talk about how to write your own custom lint, okay? And let's be guided by these 3 points. First of all, we will declare the Android view we wish to replace. For example, button, recycler view, edit text, etc. And these things we are going to scan for. We pick one of them, for example button, then we scan for any usages of button in our XML file, okay? Then we try to warn the user that we don't want to use this normal button widget or component. We want to use our own custom component for button, okay? Then we design our custom view. Then later on we finally write our lint issue to notify the team about this, okay? So let's begin. Now we are here, so okay, so let's try to make this a button, okay? A button call, a normal Android button call. Now I have already created a custom view, and the name of the custom view is called my button CV, okay? This my button CV is nothing but just a combination or a compound custom compound component, okay? And it is a standard linear layout. Then it's just a combination of text view and a button, as it is shown in this design here. If you can check the design here, it's actually shown here. So actually this is a custom view, and in this tutorial it doesn't cover how to create a custom view, but then let me try to brush through for us to, if you don't know how to create a custom view, at least it will help. So this first constructor is actually used if you want to call your custom view in a Java, through a Java file or in a Java file. That is where this constructor will be triggered, and any of the constructors left will be triggered when you are trying to call your custom view in an XML file, okay? Then this constructor will be triggered. Then again, we have a special constructor here, and it only gets triggered when your view is being, or library or the custom view is being run on an Android device which is having, the version code or the build to be lollipop, from lollipop going, okay? The newest, the latest. That's where it will decide to call this in your XML. Then we have our method that we use to create our components, okay? Components. First of all, as we said, we made use of text view. Then we created our own our button. Then we put it together to get this design on the right side, okay? The design on the right side, and this is what I mean, this design. So that's our custom view that we are going to replace. We are going to replace our button with, our Android button with, okay? So now let's box on, okay? Let's box on. After creating, so let's locate the XML file. So we simply want to replace this with our my button CV, okay? My button CV, just like this. This is what we want to do, but then we want to rely on Lint framework to do this work for us. Okay, so now let's try to create our own Lint, write our own Lint, custom Lint that will do this for us. So first of all, to begin with, we locate, to create the custom Lint, we locate the file tab, then we go to new module. Okay, then we are trying to create a library, a Java library. Select Android library. You can name this my button Lint. Okay, just that. Then we finish with that. Now it is building. Let's wait for some few seconds for it to finish building, and when it is done building, we go to the next task. The next task is going to, we are going to, what is happening? It is complaining about something. Okay, I think this should work. So okay, my button Lint. Okay, let's try to ignore the Java plugin. Okay, let's try to ignore this. Since we are going to make it, I want to make it a Java library, so let's ignore this. Then we try to remove the Java dependencies. Then oh wait, I'm going to remove the Java dependencies. Okay, so let's try to remove the Android. Okay, I think not all. Let's try to remove all the Android dependencies. Okay, so let's remove all the Android dependencies. Let's think. Guys, it's complaining because we are making it a Java library, but then we are still depending on the Android dependencies. That's why it is complaining. So let's keep our fingers crossed that this gets fixed, the building issue. So let's see. It's building. Okay, building. So guys, so let's take note of this. We are the link that we are creating is going to make use of these two, basically these two dependencies, the Lint API and the Lint check. And in my case, I'm using this version, the 26.5.0. so that's the version code that I'm using. Okay, I'm using this version code. I'm using this version code. Okay, let's wait for this to finish building, then we can continue. It's kind of taking long. What is happening? Okay, so now it is done building. So let's see. It's done building. So let's see. Now we have actually built. We have synced our dependency. That's the linked API and the link checks. Okay. So now let's go on to create our issue. Let's go on to create our issue. Let's create a new issue. So here, let's create our issue, and the issue is going to be, we can call it custom button detector. Okay, custom button detector, and let's make it extend layout detector. Okay, I think, let's see. Guys, give me some couple of minutes. Okay, it's trying to sync. It's syncing. It's syncing. Okay, what's happening? So it's trying to, I think beforehand it couldn't sync the dependencies well, so cannot find the layout detector. Okay, let's see. Yes, what is happening, guys? Let me try to see what is happening. Let me try to build a project and let's see what is actually wrong. Okay, Okay guys, now let's come together and start. I'm sure there was something going on, so I have to restart my Android studio. Now let's go on. So I've created a new library called my custom lint detector. Okay, and that library, the same thing. Okay, it is a Java library and it is using the version 26.5.0, and also we are compiling only the dependencies, which is the lint API and the link checks. These are the two major or basic dependencies that we are going to use in our library. So let's continue. Now for the as we are starting, we have to implement some two basic methods because of our the tags that we want to do. We want to target button. Okay, we want to target button widgets or components in our SML. So application get applicable element. So let's override this method. Then again, after getting the applicable element, we visit the element. Now, as we said, we are targeting a button. So wherever a button is used in an SML, this issue will be triggered. The link will trigger this issue. So let's return this. It's a collection, so let's return a collections dot singleton list. Okay, then SDK constants dot button. Whenever it sees a button element in an SML file, it will try to report an issue to the user. So we report the issue to the developer or the user. Okay, so, and to be on the safer side, let's report. Okay, we told the user that the team has created a custom view that we are using in place of a button. So then we give the user an option to change the button into that custom view. So we can create the fix. So let's create the fix here, and it's going to be a lint fix. Create fix. So let's create the lint fix. The lint fix dot create dot replace dot test, and the test is SDK constant dot button. Okay, wait our custom view here, then we build it. Now let's try to make it empty like this. We come back to this. So first of all, I mostly create a public class that will be containing my button info. Okay, button info. So this is mostly important when we are creating an issue. String ID, we give it custom button ID, then a brief description. I call it usages. Try to use the theme custom view. Try to use the theme custom view. The theme is trying to use a custom view in place of the normal Android button widget. Okay, so custom view, then we try to signal the custom view that we are going to use, and let's use our custom view so my button. So this is the custom view we are creating, then we bring it here. Okay, now so this is going to be the explanation. And here is going to be the custom view that we allotted a space for. So the custom view, please, let's try to copy the whole part to the custom view we just created, or we have dot, then you copy. So this is the part, the custom view. Now let's bring our custom view in this width. So we are trying to replace every button in an XML with the custom view that we have created. So this is the custom view. Now we have created a fix. Okay, so let's try to, whenever it sees any button used, whenever it sees the button used in our XML file, we try to report an issue. Before that, let's try to create our issue here. So public static issue, then we call it button issue is equal to issue.create. First of all, it takes the ID. The ID is unique, that identifies the issue. It should be unique. So let's reference the ID we use in our button class. Then a brief description of the issue. Then the next parameter is the explanation. The next parameter is the category of the issue. So we have a lot of categories. We have correctness, we have app size, Chrome OS, compliance, internationalization, icon, interoperability, lint, messaging, performance, security, testing, typography, usability, a lot. And you can also create your own custom category. So for the sake of the tutorial, we're going to use correctness. That's the target. That's the category that we are targeting. And the next is going to be a priority. The priority is within the range of 1 to 10. So I'm picking 10 so that it will be seen as on an issue with a high priority. Severity, let's pick error so that it doesn't allow the application to build if the user doesn't use our own custom view. Then the implementation. So it takes the custom detector class, and the scope is going to be resources file scope, that's XML. And now we have created our issue. Correct. So this is the issue you have created. So now whenever, as we said, whenever it sees a button being used in our XML file, we are trying to report. We report to the user the issue. So we are reporting this issue to the user. Then the location, okay, it needs the location of the element, in this case the button. And the message is the usages. and a possible fix. That's the create fix that we just created, and that is all. Okay, so now we have created a custom button detector. So we have created our issue, but how do we register it? So let's try to create another class that does the registration of our issue for us. So we are going to call it custom button lint register or registry. We are going to extend issue registry, then we implement the issues within here, and you can also implement get API. We return API kt dot current API, and here we also return the issues that we have in our custom lint detector. Okay, so singleton list, and we are going to have custom button detector dot button issue. Now, after we have created our custom registry, the custom button lint registry, we have to find a way to actually add this to the, so we are going to add this, we have to find a way to add this to the lint framework, and we do this by locating the Gradle for, then we create a jar configuration, and within the manifest we create attributes. And the attribute is just like a hash map, a key value hash map. Okay, so let's create, it's going to be lint dash registry dash v2. That's going to be the key, and the path to our registry, copy the whole part here, copy the whole part here, copy the whole part here. Okay, now this means we have registered our lint, so now we can sync the application. Let's wait for some few seconds for it to finish building. Now it is built. So the next task is, let's try to call our library in our main application through the help of link checks. Now let's try to get the name. Okay, so this is it. We press it, then we sync our library. We're not going to use implementation, we're not going to use any other syntax, but we are going to use link checks. Okay, now it's done syncing. So let's go to, this is the file. Okay, now after we are done building our custom lint, we are trying to check or scan for any button usages in XML file. Then we try to replace the button with our custom view. So before the lint can start working for us, let's go to our command prompt. If you are on Windows, please, you can use Gradle W, but for those on Mac, you are supposed to use fullstop / Gradle W, then lint debug, and then it's going to release the Java file into where the lint framework keeps the Java files for lint, all the lint that it has. so it's going to release a jar. So I think that's what it's using, that's what it is doing. Then after that, it tried to build the app and see if there will be an issue for it to be checked. So let's wait. It will finish right now. It's building. It's building. Okay, so let's wait for it to finish building. It will finish within some time. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see what is going to happen. Let's see. Okay, the build failed. Okay, let's see why it failed. So you go here, then you can see the button. Okay, so the button is trying to give us a warning, an error that the button cannot be used. So when we click on it, then it will try to suggest with an option, and the option is this is the message: try to use the team custom view. Okay, and this is the fix that we created. So when you click on this, it will replace the button with this custom view, and now voila, it is working. Then again, for instance, we are having a custom, we are having this custom view, and with this custom view, what we want to do is, whenever we have this custom view, let's say we have some attributes that it comes with the custom view, and maybe for proper usage, we try to use for proper usages, let's make the lint help us, so that it can suggest to the user or the developer that we have to implement this sort of attributes. Okay, so for you to do that, we can do one thing. Let's go to the custom button detector. So there's another thing that we can do. First of all, we get the applicable attributes. Okay, like how we got the applicable elements. Then after that, we visit the attributes. So these two things, we can do this. Then the attribute will be like the singleton that we created. For instance, this is a component, but this one will be the attributes. Okay, then we visit it. The visit is where we can create the reports, or we can also do this. We come to the where we are visiting the element, then we check if the element doesn't have this attribute. Okay, you can have, let's say, Android URI, then Android URI, then minimum weight. So for example, let's use minimum weight. Okay, so whenever, let's see, for example, our attribute that is very important to our custom view is, let's say, for example, it is minimum weight. So first of all, we try to check if the element has this attribute. If it doesn't have the attribute, then we try to create the reports. Okay, so right now, let's try to build it and see. Though it's working fine and dandy here, this is a custom button CV that we are using. So let's try to build another file and see if it will give an issue here. Let's try to see if it will give an issue. So it gives an issue, then it is working, guys. So we can try our hands on these things so that it make our development very easy for us, very easy for us. Linting can be used in so many ways, so many various ways. Okay, so if it doesn't have minimum width, if it doesn't have minimum width, okay, if it doesn't have minimum width, then let's try to see what it has for us. Okay, if it doesn't have minimum width, okay, fortunately guys, this is working because it has the minimum width. Let's try to, for us to see it working, let's try to remove the minimum width attribute and see what happens. Let's try to remove it and see what happens. Guys, so we can try our hands on this part. Can try on this, our hands on this part, and for the sake of time we can try our hands on this. Okay, let's try on our hands on how to check for various attributes if the custom view, the user of our custom view is implementing a custom view correctly. So we can do that. Okay, we can do that. Okay, I think this is why it's not working. First of all, we are targeting button. This is wrong. Let's try to target button. Let's try to use our custom view. Okay, our custom view. Okay, so let's build the issue once more again, if it will be able to catch it for us. Let's see what happened. It failed. Why? Now our Swift custom view, which was error free, right now is having an error. Why? Because it's not having the minimum custom view. Okay, so this is the error. This is the error. This is the error. Okay, so I think my machine was freezing a bit. So this is the error. Now this is because it doesn't have the attribute. It doesn't have this attribute, the minimum width. So this is a way for us to, so this attribute can be any other attributes, any attributes that we want our custom view to come up with, or the implementer, the one implementing our custom view, to use in that case. So if you have something like min width 24 dp, now the error should go. Okay guys, so this is the end of our tutorials. I challenge you guys to also try to ask. I have an example on how to check if your custom view, the user of your custom view, is implementing it correctly. We can use the lint to help us report this issue. Guys, stay tuned, and this is the part 2, which is focusing on SML part, creating a custom lint for SML part. On the next tutorials, we are going to create a custom lint, but it's going to be on a Java files. How to check if a custom lint, let's say the button CV, if it is being used properly in the Java file when we are trying to call it in a Java file. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. It's very important, so that whenever the new video or tutorial is being released, you will be notified. And what if you have any topic that you want me to treat in the upcoming tutorials, guys, don't hesitate to comment or to message me personally. Then I'll consider, and then we all learn together. Happy coding and happy learning. Thank you. Bye.